Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite Dolphin Danny. And I'm here behind my VHS wall, in front of my VHS wall, for another VHS and Memories. Now I get lots of people saying they really enjoy these, and I love my VHS, and yeah, I love doing these videos. So let's get right into it then. I picked up these Digimon VHSs recently, and yes, am I the biggest Digimon fan? No, I was more into Pokemon, and I did find Digimon a bit of a clone. But it does have some interesting stories. Sorry, I'll show the inserts, probably work better for these. But yes, because of the glare on those ones. But yeah, Digimon Digital Monsters was a show I did watch frequently. Not as religiously as Pokemon, though. Digimon Adventures, known as the first season of Digimon. It's the first anime installment in the Digimon franchise, based off the virtual pet of the same name. The series features a group of children who are transported to another world called the Digiworld, where each of them are partnered with a Digimon and become their Digi-destined. Tasked to save the digital world from evil, an English-language version produced by Saban Entertainment aired in North America in around August 1999 and June 2000. Yeah, like I said before, Digimon, I did find it more of a clone of Pokemon, which I liked more, and I never had the Digimon virtual pets, as I had more in the Tamagotchi era when I was in grade 6 or so, and this was much later. But I did know a few people that had the Digimon toys, the little pet, and it was pretty cool, actually. I just never had one. I did have some of the action figures, though, from Digimon, and I did enjoy the show. I liked when the Digimons would go into when they'd battle, they could change into the big beast mode and battle, and they'd be in their crazy form, and then they could revert back into their small little cute form, and you could travel around with them. So I did like that aspect of the show a lot. This was part of the huge anime wave that started with years before that with Hello Kitty, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and of course Pokemon. I saw all this stuff on YTV as a kid, and yes, that was the Canadian Cartoon Network, and this was the first huge wave of anime coming into Canada, and it was exciting. I remember loving all of it, and it was just so different and unique from American TV shows and the characters, and I just thought the ideas were better. I thought it was more abstract. I loved all the creatures, the monsters, everything like that. I just fell in love with, and yeah, and also back in the day, if you missed an episode, you missed an episode. You couldn't go on Netflix or the computer. We had internet, but you couldn't just go access whatever show you wanted and stream. No, that wasn't a possibility. So back in the day, you'd be getting a VHS tapes that you could record on, blank tapes, and you'd put them in your VCR and just pray that it captures that episode. Sometimes it wouldn't work and you might miss something, or sometimes it would work. And I also remember with my friends trading VHS tapes, oh, you got these episodes of Dragon Ball Z, let me have that and I'll trade you for this. And I also remember coming together with everyone with our VHS tapes and all catching up together, and it really brought people together back in the day. But of course, convenience of the internet and stuff like Netflix and stuff like that kind of killed all that. But yeah, it was a time to be it was a really fun time to be a part of, and that's why I wanted to share some of this with you with Digimon Digital Monsters. Now, I'd also like to bring up the movie Dog Day Afternoon. It was an American crime drama filmed in 1975, starring Al Pacino. It's also based on an article from Time magazine called Boys in the Bank. On August 22nd, 1972, first-time crook Sonny, Al Pacino, and his friends Sal and Stevie attempt to rob the First Brooklyn Savings Bank. The plan immediately goes awry when Stevie loses his nerve shortly after Sal pulls out his gun, and Sonny is forced to let him flee the scene. In the vault, Sonny discovers that him and Sal have arrived after the daily cash pickup, and there's only $1,000 remaining in the bank. To compensate, Sonny takes a number of traveler's checks. He attempts to prevent the traveler's checks from being traced by burning the bank's register in the cash, but this causes smoke to billow outside of the building, alerting businesses across the street to suspicious activity. Within minutes, the building is surrounded by police. Unsure of what to do, the two robbers camp inside the bank, holding the workers hostage. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown of what the movie's about, and yeah, this movie is amazing. I love this movie. Even back in the day when my friend Scott showed me this video, yeah, I thought it was amazing. It's awesome. Like the tension, Al Pacino, this is one of his best performances. His voice in this movie, he has like a different type of a voice. He's all sweaty and nervous, and like they don't really want to hurt the people or anything, but it's like, you know, the stress of everything, and the whole place is surrounded by police. Like, I mean, surrounded. They got, yeah, it was so wrong. It's like the worst robbery ever, and the place is like, it's on the news, like everyone's out there, and you know, Al Pacino ends up calling like his boyfriend, but it's more like a girlfriend, because like so it's weird seeing this back in the day. It made me I thought it was kind of romantic, actually. But yeah, Al Pacino, like, you know, he has like Leon, that's his like boyfriend, I guess, but Leon wants to become a woman, and that's some of the reason why he wanted to rob the bank, was to get money for her, like her transition and stuff. And like Leon is like is so funny in the movie. And yeah, back in the day, like, you know, one of my friends showed me this too. It really clicked with me. I never told many people that, because at the time I wasn't open about being trans or anything like that. But yes, this movie, in that whole part, I thought it was very romantic that he wanted to rob the bank and, you know, help her transition and stuff. And yeah, the movie is so intense. Like, I don't want to go into too many details if you haven't seen it, but if you like Al Pacino, you like crime dramas and stuff, this is so up there. Yeah, even the ending plays out really well. And yeah, there's just so many levels on this. I just rethinking about it and the trans issues and stuff in this movie. Yeah, I just love it. I thought it was pretty funny back in the day, and I'd love to see it again. I have watched it in the last year or two, and yeah, me and my ex used to watch it as well. Al Pacino, I can't stress how much of a fantastic job he does in this, though. One of my favorite, you know, movies that he's in. Private Parts is a 1997 American comedy. The film is an adaptation of the autobiographical chapters from the best-selling 1993 book of the same name by radio personality Howard Stern. It follows Stern's life from boyhood and his rise to success in radio. Stern and several of his radio staff stars themselves, including co-host Robin Quivers, producer Fred Norris, and Gary Delbate. Private Parts. Now, am I a huge Howard Stern fan? No, but as a kid I really did like rags to riches stories, and it was cool to see Howard going through different stages to get where he was. And yeah, the movie's pretty entertaining. He does a pretty good job. It was also funny seeing him playing his younger self but kind of looking older, which I didn't really notice much as a kid, but you know, rewatching it, you're like, oh, it's funny. And yeah, this was my first introduction to like shock jock radio, and at the time I didn't even know what that really meant. But my friend Bromo and me, we recently watched this because he's a huge fan of shock jock radio and stuff like that, so we checked this out, and yeah, we had a laugh. It's funny to see Howard go through so many stages. I thought he was very fascinating and crazy, because just how brutal and honest he was, and on the radio, the things he would say, even if you hated him, people would tune in to see what he was going to say next. And of course at WNBC, it was funny to see him fight with his boss, and he nicknamed his boss Pig Vomit, which Bromo really got a laugh out of. And yeah, this was awesome. One of my first experiences to shock jock radio as a kid, and yeah, just a funny movie overall, very entertaining. And yeah, if you're a Howard Stern fan or like rags to riches like stories, this is definitely something you should check out. Another reason I wanted to show Bromo this is because we're huge fans of Opie and Anthony. Now, Bromo came across Opie and Anthony's show years back, and yeah, they say some really totally crazy things, and we basically loved it. It was kind of like a rival to Howard Stern's show. I think he tried to get them off the air. They just bumped heads because Howard thought they were copying his style, because they just go off very ruthless. And yeah, Opie and Anthony was a very funny show. It basically had all the Cellar crew like Jim Norton, Patrice O'Neal, who I love, Colin Quinn, Bill Burr, just to name a few. These comedians are very ruthless on the air in their own way. This type of comedy was very popular before 9/11 and a bit after, but also died due to censorship. The reasons I mention Opie and Anthony, though, is because of the radio show. It got me into AVGN. Now, in the earlier episodes of AVGN, you can see on his TV he has like a wow sticker. It's a Whip 'em Out Wednesday sticker on the side of his TV. And yes, I did see James and AVGN stuff, James Rolfe and AVGN years before the Opie and Anthony, but like I was in such a horrible state of mind. You know, when you hate yourself, you can't really, when you hate yourself and stuff, you can't really accept what other people are doing or find joy out of certain things. So I saw James's stuff early, but I just never got really into it. But because I looked up so much to Opie and Anthony and the radio show, and they got a huge kick out of it. They had James, they'd bring him, they'd watch his stuff live on the air, and yeah, they were just laughing. It was like the Top Gun, the Ninja Turtles stuff. They were having a blast. They like would credit, like, they're like, he's got some great lines. And to me, like, they kind of held the bar at one point at, for ruthless comedy and stuff, because, they seeing them enjoy AVGN so much, got me watching James alone on my own more. And yeah, it was really, changing experience. I got into Opie and Anthony, and then I saw James's stuff, and that really got me more into the YouTube and retro scene, looking up other people. Like, that's how I found Pat, and lots of people like that inspired me to, like, after years of watching them and stuff, inspired me to finally do my own thing, which I was more healthy and happy. And, because of Opie and Anthony, it kind of got me really into that again. Yes, I still collected video games, and I've been collecting other things before that, but it really, like, inspired me to, like, bring it all together and do a YouTube channel. And yeah, it's just funny to say that's the reason, but it really was. It got me more into it. Before that, I watched YouTube, but I wasn't really into like tons of stuff. I'd watch videos here and there, but this got me more into the culture of everything and really inspired me. And I think it's a freaking amazing, once you get inspired and you get on your grind and you find your place and what you want to do and stuff. But yeah, it's just so funny that a lot of this came from listening to Opie and Anthony. And of course there's a channel on YouTube called O&A Video, and they would actually splice videos of what they were saying on the radio show. So you'd actually hear them, and then you could hear them talking over James's videos and watching it and other videos, of course, and it was just like all that coming together was pretty amazing. And yeah, just one of those things that introduced me to so much. And yeah, Private Parts, like I said, Howard Stern, not the biggest fan of him and his stuff, but this, like, it's all kind of related, Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern, and all kind of pools together. So I wanted to show Bromo this, and then yeah, it's a really just a whole bunch of stuff coming together, and yeah, it's just a great time. Yeah, Opie and Anthony, that style, I know it kind of died down due to censorship, and you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings these days. I mean, I do miss, like, you can't be ruthless to everyone all the time, but I do miss some of those older days when you could just say what you want. Not everyone would get offended. It is a joke, so I mean, I have tough skin, so I like to think about it that way. But yeah, it's very interesting how like all these things came together, and I found out about James and Pat and everyone like that. So yeah, if you like Shock Jock Radio or fan of the Cellar Crew or watch Opie and Anthony, this movie is definitely give it a watch. And yeah, just wanted to bring it up on the VHS and Memories to share some of these thoughts and memories about everything. So yeah, to definitely check it out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first live-action movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this movie so much. This movie was such a crazy experience. I remember my mom taking me to the movies. I was like 5 when this came out in the 90s, and I was totally in turtle gear. I had my bandana, my shells, my weapons on, and yeah, I didn't know what to really expect. I only knew the Turtles from the cartoon series at the time, and I absolutely loved the cartoon series. So yeah, my mom took me, and I remember the first thing when you see their shadows on the wall, and they're talking or whatever, and as soon as I think Leo jumps out first, I remember I jumped out of my seat twirling my weapons and stuff, and I remember my mom's face just laughing at me and stuff. But it was an amazing experience, and because I was so young at that time, I thought those were the turtles. I thought they were actually real. And after the movie, of course, going up to sewer drains and being like, Mom, look, the turtles could be down there. I think lots of 90s kids did that. But yes, I absolutely love this movie. I think the first Turtles movie works great. I love the costumes. I love so much about this movie. It was a fantastic experience. I still remember it to this day because it was just like one of those moments where you're just like totally shocked, and like I totally thought the turtles were real. It was amazing. Oh my god, cowabunga! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a 1990 American superhero film directed by Steve Barron, based on the comic book characters of the same name. The story follows Splinter and the Turtles, their meeting of April O'Neil and Casey Jones, and their confrontation with the Shredder and the Foot Clan. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles became the highest-grossing independent film at the time, the 9th highest-grossing film worldwide of the 90s, and the most successful film in the series until 2004. 2014's reboot. Ew, the reboot, so bad. It was followed by 2 sequels, Secret of the Ooze in 1991, and of course Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 in 1993. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite Ninja Turtles movie. I think it works the best. I really like the dark tone of the first movie. It really captures more of the essence of the comics that came out at the time. I didn't know about the comics, of course, until years later. There was no comic book shops in my area, and the internet wasn't a thing yet. But yes, I think the Turtles in this one, they look absolutely amazing. The dark tone, everything just works for me. And yeah, like I said, just amazing and just such a cool experience. The Turtles were so funny, and like I said, I thought they were so real when I first watched this. And yeah, it's so much. I like that they took the tone of the comics at the time, but they still gave them the colored bandanas, because in the original comics and stuff they all wore red, but they it was a mixture of somewhat of the show and the comics, so I think it worked really well. Now, it's pretty hard to explain how big the Turtles were in the 90s, but the Turtles were absolutely huge. Everyone loved them. Everyone was decked out in Turtles clothes, from boys to girls. Everyone loved the Turtles. There was so much Turtles. It's not like today where you have all these things popular for a moment. For a long time, it was strictly Turtles. Turtles took over. I mean, I had that. My mom got me, even when she didn't have a lot of money when I was first born and stuff, she got me all the Turtles figures and the van eventually for Christmas, I remember one morning. That was amazing. I loved my turtle figures. Growing up, I did want to play with some girly stuff once in a while, but I loved my turtles. I think I just thought they were really handsome, and I loved to get my hands on them. But yes, the Turtles were amazing, but I'm saying, the time of the Turtles back in the 90s was unbelievable. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing something related to the Turtles. And my mom, when she married my stepdad, they got me the Turtle-Sewer and the play set and a whole bunch of things like that, and it was just Turtles crazy. I loved my sewer. I loved all my action figures. I still have some of my figures, but sadly I played a lot of them to death, losing their weapons and stuff, but I still have a bunch of my figures, and yeah, maybe I'll show those off sometime. But I absolutely loved the Turtles. It was a huge movement. You can't even explain how big of a movement this was in the 90s. It was everyone was turtle crazy. Turtle fever, man. Pretty cool though. I also can't mention the Turtles without mentioning the popularization of pizza. Pizza blew up. Pizza was always big and popular in the 90s and stuff, before that probably as well. But Turtles made pizza the new thing. Everyone was getting pizza. I remember me and my friends would order pizza, have our action figures, and play Turtles with our weapons and eat our pizza, just live that turtle lifestyle. I mean, those were the good old days. Those were the 90s, and junk food, probably pretty unhealthy now and stuff. I mean, you don't want to eat that pizza all the time, but it was just Turtles. It was such a movement, and all the food and stuff that went with it. Yeah, we were turtle crazy, dude. Hey, thank you for sticking around and watching this video. I highly appreciate it. I love doing these VHS and memories. I love reminiscing on old movies, so let me know what movies you'd like to see, or which of these movies you were a fan of. That'd be really awesome. I love to keep the conversation going. I'm just trying to get my energy levels back up so I can do more videos. I love doing this stuff. I love being here trying to make you guys laugh, or try to reminisce and forget about some stuff going on for a little bit, even if it's just for a few minutes or whatever. You guys have bring me so much joy, so thank you for everyone who keeps reaching out and telling me to get better. I'm so thankful for the support. So yes, we must all stay strong, stay positive, and this dolphin will probably catch you on the flip side, y'all. Bye.